Better me.
Better me.
Better me.
Better me.
It's better me. Hopefully.
Hello, welcome along to Naturopath or Naturo-scam, the episode where we're going to be, to be honest, quite blunt about the fact that there are people in the wellness industry that, even though it's a common theme across this podcast, are preying on the vulnerable. Vulnerable people like me, vulnerable people like you. And this episode today is to just cut the bullshit so we can stop wasting our money and our mental energy on people that don't actually want us to be any better. On today's episode, we're going to be talking to naturopath Jess Blair and my friend Dr. Sash, who is a doctor, quite obviously. And we're going to be talking to both of them because they were part of my journey of realizing that I was being ripped off by a naturopath.
Better me, hopefully, with Sharon Casey.
This is my story. And to be honest, this is kind of the catalyst of why I wanted to do Better Me, hopefully, because I'm the sort of person that if I don't feel good about myself, if I'm not feeling my best, I will impulsively jump onto anything that promises me that's going to make me feel better. But the thing is, most of the time, it's coming from the fact that my brain's not well. So ever since I've started taking medication for my mental health, I have found that it's a lot easier for me to spot the BS from the true stuff. Spot the things that I'll look at, I might click on, put it in my cart, but when I go to pay, I go, Sharon, this is such a crock of shit. What are you doing? Back before I was on medication, I wouldn't have done that. I would have bought everything under the sun. Do I still buy products that give me all of these big promises? Yes, because repetition builds reputation. If I keep seeing it in my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook feed, and especially because Instagram and Facebook are connected, that repetition eventually will weasel itself into my brain and I'm like, you're right, I do need that, and I'll buy it. As I was saying, the common theme since we've been doing Better Me, hopefully, is that whilst there's a bunch of people in the wellness industry who are awesome, we've had a bunch of them on this podcast, but there's also a bunch of people that are just full of shit and they just want our money. And that's what I want to talk about in this episode because that happened to me. So to take you back, a few years postpartum, I was feeling groggy, was feeling really shit about myself. I was just kind of struggling mentally. I put on a bunch of weight. I just wanted somebody to give me the magic that would make that all better. Through Instagram, because repetition builds reputation, that's the key to advertising, I signed up to go and see a naturopath. So I went and saw this naturopath, which interestingly enough, a lot of people have sent me DMs about this particular one. And I went there, I said all the things I needed to do. The first thing I needed to do was go to my GP and ask for a blood test, which if anyone has done that, GPs hate like when you ask them for a blood test that you probably don't even need. When you start asking for specific things that you don't actually know about, they know that you're asking for it for a naturopath. So I had to go to the doctor. So straight away, I've paid for my session. It's like $200. Then I've got to go to the doctor, pay another $60 to get the doctor's appointment. Then I've got to pay for my blood test. So we're already looking, I don't know, like $350, $400. Then I've got to go back for another appointment with my blood results. There's another $200, and I need to go through those blood results. Okay, so now I reckon we're up to like $500-$600 that I've spent, and I still don't even really know anything. Then they go through my blood results, and all of a sudden, I need a cooler bag, like a little cooler bag to carry around with me because I've got to take that many supplements. So to start off with, my diet changes straight away. My diet changes to no dairy, no gluten, no refined sugar, no alcohol, no caffeine. Easy. But how many times can I go out for breakfast with my friends and only order poached eggs on toast with avocado on the vegan bread? Like, after a while, it's just an expensive, boring breakfast. Then I had to take the supplements. So let's talk through the supplements. I was taking 5 in the morning, 1 an hour before I ate, 3 times a day. Then I would take another 4 at lunchtime. I would take more at bedtime. I had a herbal tonic and I had a drink of like a magnesium drink or something. So I'm taking probably around like 16 pills a day, which is admin. It's a lot of admin to add to my life that already has just turned into no dairy, no gluten, no caffeine, no sugar, no fun. On top of that, you have to pay for those. So once you get that bill of the first time, usually like, I don't know, it was probably like $400-500. So we're sitting at $1,000 and we've only had 2 appointments. In the first month, okay, like I felt a bit better. Second month, I started to actually feel really good. And at this point, even though I was hiding my credit card bill from my husband of how much I had spent on this journey, I was excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm starting to feel better. But was I feeling better because of the crap tons of supplements or taking heaps of things out of my diet or my mindset was different? Who knows? So I go back for my next appointment. We're chucking in another $200. We sit down, we have the appointment. Okay. Still more stuff. Oh, still your Billy Rubin, still not 100%. And like all these words I don't fucking understand. Okay. So I go back. Come back, another 6-week appointment. Hi, okay, how are you feeling? I actually feel great. I'm feeling awesome. And I need to add that by the time I got to the point that my psychologist told me to stop going to this naturopath, I'd had about 5 or 6 sessions, and each time a new supplement was added. So each time it's about $300, and my cooler bag's getting more and more full of supplements. Honestly, I've got a friend at work who carries around a cooler bag and she's got even more supplements than I have. It's crazy because she's living with long COVID, right? And so because nobody really knows about long COVID and it makes you feel so shit, you're like, absolutely, give me all the pills. Give me all the pills now. I get to this point where I genuinely feel so good. Like I was bouncing off the walls. I was excited for my appointment to go in and be like, I feel amazing. I'm doing everything right. I haven't broken the rules. I'm doing woo. Like I was on a high. I get into the meeting. I'm giving the update and I've got a new set of bloods that I've had to like go and get done. I find out in this, we're like, has anything changed? And I was like, oh, my husband and I are actually, I'm feeling really great. Like I'm in a really healthy place. Like I feel really awesome. My husband and I have been talking about the possibility of having another child. So this is where it gets interesting. Number 1, I get taken down off my high of like, yes, and told that my liver is super dirty and that my liver needs a lot of work. And so I need to stop drinking alcohol altogether. And I needed to go on a detox, which was going to cost me about $750. I was sitting there going, but I'm about to go to Las Vegas. Like I can't do a massive liver cleanse. Also, I've got a full-time job, which requires me to be like, it's quite fast paced. I don't have time to be shitting myself through the whole show. Also, I don't have $700 for a detox. I then say I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to do the opposite of detoxing. I'm going to be toxing up a goddamn storm. So it was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, that's your choice. But when you get back, like I really stress to you, you should do the detox. So straight away, that's taken the fun out of my trip because now I feel like every drink I have, every burger I have, every mac and cheese I have, I feel guilty about it. I feel terrible because my liver is just so dirty. But then also because I wanted to have babies, another baby, because of my history of miscarriages and I had a successful pregnancy, but it takes a lot for the body to recover. So I would have to get some blood test, which was, I can't remember the exact price. It was either like $900 or $1,200. So straight away in this appointment that I remind you, I went into being so excited, so happy, feeling awesome, feeling the best I'd felt in ages, to be crashed back down to earth that I've got a dirty liver, I need to do a $700-800 detox, and then I need to get a blood test that costs me near $1,000. And I'm paying $200 for the appointment. After the appointment, I'm looking at my savings account. I'm looking at my credit card. I'm thinking, how the fuck do I ask my husband for like $2,000? So I went to my psychologist. I had an appointment with her like straight after the appointment. I walk in and she's like, are you okay? Like you don't seem yourself. Like what's going on? I tell her what's just happened. and she says to me, which really took me aback actually, you need to cancel any future appointments with this naturopath and you need to not go back. There's a lot of people that are naturopaths that are incredible. And there's also a bunch of people that prey on the vulnerable and just see the money, and they're a money-making venture. They're not real. They're there to help people, but if they make money, that's the main aim. Why don't you get some other people, like get a second opinion on, whether or not it's good for you or not. So I walk out of there, and it's not often that my psychologist has been wrong, to be fair. So on the advice of my psychologist, I got a second opinion. I had a friend from Pilates, Jess Blair, who was a naturopath, and my friend Taryn's wife, Sasha, was a doctor. So I got both of them to look at my blood results to see what they thought in their professional opinion. And they're both on the podcast today, so strap yourself in. So I decided to text my friend Sash, who is a doctor, and showed her my blood results and all that sort of stuff. And Sash is with us right now. Hello, Sash.
Hey, mate.
Now, this is obviously my experience, and I came to you as a friend to have a look at what I was being told by this naturopath. Mm-hmm. And when you took a look at the bloods, you were furious that this person was telling me that my liver was not in good shape when it was actually fine.
Yeah. But it was super normal.
Is that something that is happening quite a lot in your experience that you see? Because I remember you being quite fired up, and it was, without naming the place, it was a place that you'd heard of a lot that this was happening with.
When people are selling something, you have to ask yourself why they're doing what they're doing. What's the motivating forces behind someone's action? So yes, I felt very frustrated at the time for you because you were my friend and you were really anxious. There was absolutely nothing wrong with your blood results. They were as normal as they can be. I felt as if, you were being taken advantage of. That just really didn't sit well for me. I think most people who work in the wellness industry or the health industry or anything are always trying to do good.
Yeah.
But sometimes the motivation is for something else. That was what I was reacting to.
It seems like there's a lot of things out there that people are just kind of doing to make money. In researching this podcast, there's a lot of people that have talked about, all these different kind of pyramid schemes of people that have been, kind of bullied into some isogenics or fizz sticks or whatever. As a doctor, do you see this? Because we all come to you as mates and be like, Sash, what do you think about this? Sash, does my nipple look weird? We always kind of ask you questions. Sash, is this a normal thing? And we ask you all of these questions, as a mate who's a doctor.
Yeah.
We really should start paying you for that. But are you seeing this quite a lot where there are people coming through or friends and stuff like that are having a similar experience?
Everyone is motivated to be healthy and well, right? Mm-hmm. And if you see something shiny, right, on social media and you think, oh yeah, I want to be like that person, then you'll buy their collagen powder and their detox juice diet and all the things because you want to be healthy and well. It always happens. Is there a quick fix for this? Is there a quick fix for that? I'd love to do it,
Yeah.
But really at the end of the day, if you're in distress and you want to be healthy and well, it usually comes from within, and anything that a doctor or whoever can do is to support that journey as opposed to try and sell you something that would solve a problem for you.
Yeah, temporarily.
People use that anxiety to fuel your purchasing behaviour.
Yeah.
Now, that's not just unique to health. Anything you buy in society is often fueled by a desire to solve someone's anxiety.
Yeah.
And you either prey on that fear, and that's a strategy they use to help you buy stuff. I used to work in the advertising industry. I understand it.
Yeah.
If you're scared about something, you want your baby to have the best of the best because you don't want something bad to happen to them, then you'll target that new nappy brand to that fear.
Yeah.
It just makes me angry. And I think when someone is clearly really anxious, you then think, sweet, well, I'm going to try and get them to spend thousands of dollars on some unnecessary product, service, blah, 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 blah.
So as you can imagine, I am looking for advice in every single direction. I also got chatting with my mate Jess Blair, who is an incredible naturopath. She's also helped develop a bunch of supplements and stuff before. And she's the sort of naturopath that would never, ever, ever take somebody for a ride. So I thought it would be good to get Jess on the podcast to give her perspective from inside the industry. So Jess, does this sort of thing happen quite often? And are you seeing people exploited?
I do think it does happen a lot that people overprescribe. It can be quite a lucrative moneymaker, medication and herbs and also vitamins and minerals. So I also think that if you're on the path to wellness and you want to get yourself better and you're on so many different things, you're not really going to know what's working and what's not working. So I like to strip it back to the basics and just start one thing at a time to make sure that we know that is the thing that's going to be working. And also we don't want to be spending so much money on supplements and vitamins if they're really not doing what they're meant to be doing.
It is seemingly happening a lot. So as somebody that is a naturopath, that is really ethical about what she does, and you really care about the people you work with, how do you think that people listening to this can spot a moneymaker in comparison to somebody like you, Jess, that is there because you actually care and want to help?
I think it's the advice that people give, and also too, there's so many lifestyle modifications that can be implemented into your life that obviously are going to be free without doing the vitamins and minerals supplementation. So my advice to people is to, again, strip it back to basics, put down what you're doing for your physical health, what you're doing for your mental health, how you're feeling. If you do have some blood tests, show them to your practitioner, and then they can best get a good wellness plan or a prescription plan to go by. So obviously exercise we know is really great for us. Sleep is something that's paramount for our health, and also to managing our stress level. So if you firstly just get all of your ducks in a row and really concentrate on making sure that you're going to have a really great sleep, you might find that some of your physical symptoms that you are getting each day are actually because of lack of sleep, not that you necessarily need iron or something like that. Wow. So I think that's what I like to do. And obviously there is times in our lives, especially if you have a health condition or in pregnancy, and if you do have a medical need, that you do need vitamins and minerals supplementation. So for me, I take things not every day. I take them as I need. Obviously, we're coming into winter, might need a little bit of a boost for your immune system, but on a day-to-day basis, if you are having good sleep, managing your stress, you're exercising, and you're generally healthy, you don't necessarily need vitamins and minerals as a supplement every day.
It's been interesting doing this podcast, and I really do appreciate everyone that wants to get involved and share their story when I ask on Instagram. I wasn't the only person that's been scammed by a naturopath. In fact, here's a couple of stories from some other people.
I went to them, they gave me a bunch of things that I needed to change in my life that were just unrealistic, and I had to do a $600 poo test.
I have gone to a naturopath and they gave me a whole bunch of supplements, but I've just been told to pull back from it all now because it was just too much money and it wasn't really helping.
How much money do you think that you would have spent on supplements that you didn't need?
Oh my God, hundreds.
When I was 23, I went to see a naturopath because of ongoing stomach issues. He performed a magnetic sound test over my body. He informed me that I was in liver failure, kidney failure, multiple stomach ulcers, and I would need to do a 5-day cleanse in order to fix what was going on within my body. The cost of the cleanse was going to be around $500. Plus the $250 consultation fee. He said it had to be paid in cash, then informed me where the closest ATM was to where we currently were. After going back to my doctor after this naturopath experience, he concluded that it was in fact just a dietary issue.
Sash, what's your view on whether we even need supplements, or do you just think it's a fad?
There's tons of people right now in New Zealand who have massive health access problems because of widespread pervasive problems we have in the health system.
Yeah.
Which is not going to get any better anytime soon. Those people really need help and they need access through the system. But there's a huge number of humans who are just feeling anxious because of overwhelming stress with whatever they're going through. And they just need really someone to talk to.
Yeah.
They don't need to buy a fizz stick or I don't know, whatever else, little fandangle thing there is out there.
Yeah. Got it. I did try the fizz sticks and I was like,
I don't even know what a fizz stick is. What is a fizz
it's
stick?
like a thing that you buy.
Is
and
it
you
like sherbet?
You put it in a water and it gives you like crazy energy. And I was drinking them.
Is it sugar?
No, so I was drinking them, Sash.
I literally don't know what this is. but
I was drinking them for like a week, and I was like, these fizz sticks are fabulous. I am energized. And
Not methamphetamine, is it?
No,
okay.
it wasn't. No, but then I ran out of fizz sticks, and all of a sudden I kept getting these crazy headaches, like really bad, like hurt over my eyes, like, oh my God, what was wrong with me? And then I found out the fizz sticks are just, they've got caffeine in them. And at this point, I didn't drink coffee or matcha lattes or anything like that. So I'd never had this sort of caffeine before. Right. So basically, I was just experiencing caffeine for the first time and was thriving. But I didn't know that. I thought it was just some natural thing that just gave you a little...
Well, caffeine is natural.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't realise that's what I was drinking. But man, I was thriving. But the come down on those was horrific. It was worse than a hangover.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyway, well, now I know. I already have enough caffeine in my life. I won't take any more.
Okay, well, let me know, because if you want a fizz stick, if you buy a pack of 6, then I'm going to throw in some metabolism pills, and on top of that, I've got a wonderful lotion that you can get. And if you want to start selling the fizz sticks as well, then I am a step closer to getting a BMW, and then if you get a friend to buy it, then you'll get the BMW, and it all goes on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think there's lots of sales strategies in order to further someone's road to riches.
They honestly would have seen me coming. They're like, this bitch is going to take so many pills. I'm going to sell so many things. I'm like, yeah, I'll have that.
But
all
also,
of that.
there's just to be clear, like there's two parts to the health industry. You've got the highly regulated part of health, right, where pharmaceuticals have to go through super duper rigorous process in order to get to market. And then you have the same with health services as well. Like you can't become a doctor just by reading ChatGPT online, you know, like you have to go through like quite a lot of hoops and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the wellness industry, which is sort of the adjuvant part of what you would call health, has less rigor. And so supplements at this point in time, they do not have to go through the same processes as a pharmaceutical drug, even though they contain active ingredients. You know, there's no necessarily industry standard to say, oh, you know, you're going to take this for your brain health or something. That's actually legitimate.
Wow.
So the therapeutics bill, there was a whole lot of changes with that. And to be fair, I don't know where it's actually landed in the last few years, but there's been a lot of supposed changes to how they might regulate that industry. And I think that would be quite welcome, because I do think that, you know, plants and vegetables and lots of other things in the world do offer things that you can't necessarily get from traditional medicine. However, having more rigor in that space and understanding like, oh yeah, this is legit. Like if you take this thing, it actually does help with your immune system or your this or your that. That would be hugely welcome.
I think there's a lot of like, I believe you, when you walk into like someone's fancy office and they're like, namaste, yes. And I'm like, I believe you and I am going to feel better.
Yeah. Anyone can literally take, you know, some rose petals and like dry them and shove them in a capsule. And
you tell me that it's going to like... boost my like whatever, then I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take some rose petal capsules, let's do this. I'll give it a crack.
But you know what, the thing I would say is that the step someone takes to interact with someone who's doing some form of whatever the treatment is that they're doing, there probably is value in that person talking to that person and going through the process of spending energy and time on themselves so that they feel better. That placebo effect effectively is really helpful for people. So it's not that I'm poo-pooing any of it. It's like, hey, there is legitimate value, but I do think people should just scrutinize what is the motivation behind the person selling this. Is it legit, or is it just something they've made up? If you take it away from, you know, this product, this service, and think, what's actually going on for me right now? Like, where am I actually at? Do I need to see my GP, or do I need a specialist for something because something legitimate is happening? Or am I just really anxious? Or am I feeling low? Or like, am I having some troubles with my relationship, but I'm focusing on this other area because it's easier for me to solve that fear or that problem?
I really want to pick up on that fear actually and go back to Jess Blair, our naturopath. Jess, are there any specifics of people being preyed on where you could give us some advice of what we should be wary of?
Anything that is a fad, or anything that promises weight loss, or to change your genetics or your hormone profile, that really prey on these vulnerable women, especially. You know, as women get older, you know, they might go through menopause, so that there's all these products out there that are promising that a pill's going to fix all of that, and that's just not the case. And a lot of the MLM products, so anything that, you know, this juicy pill is going to fix every kind of autoimmune condition you have. So, as the consumers, we need to be really wary of what they're trying to sell and why, and not prey on, again, I'd say women especially, but yeah, anything that's a fad that's going to make you lose weight or change your look, I think stay clear from, and just really go back to basics and make sure that you're getting enough sleep, you're working on your stress, you're getting physical activity, you're getting outside, getting in nature, and you're going to feel a million times better even for that. And then go and see your practitioner, even if that is your doctor. Go talk to your doctor about any of the health ailments that you do have, and work with a great naturopath. That will be really beneficial to your health.
Better Me, hopefully, brought to you by Specsavers. I went in to get my eyes tested. I was extremely confident because I've had laser, and I thought, oh yeah, my eyes are like 20/20 perfect. Like, oh my gosh, look at me. I can see everything. I've just had an eye test, and in half an hour I've had the most thorough eye check, and it turns out that I actually need glasses. KVDF, covering my right eye now. Oh, okay, well this is interesting. 6833. Now this is interesting because I've had my eyes lasered, so I'm always like, I've got 20/20 vision, but as I'm doing this right now, I'm realizing that one of my eyes isn't as good as the other ones. Bottom line is, oh my god, this is so confronting. 8685. Was that right? Yeah, oh my god.
No, it wasn't.
Was that not?
No.
Producer Braden's here with us, and he's making me feel very insecure about my eyes. And this is the perfect point of this whole podcast, is like, how can we be better versions of ourselves, and what are the things that we actually should be looking into? So instead of looking into things like Fit Tea and spending my money on those, I think it's about time I start spending money on things that make my actual health better, starting off with a new pair of glasses. So while I was taken on a ride by a naturopath, there are so many supplements that you can just buy off the shelf. If you just stroll down the health aisle at the supermarket or at the pharmacy, there's literally thousands of options. But I'm keen to see if any of them actually work. So Sash, I'll start with you.
It's not necessarily an easy one answer. I think there are lots of people who are vitamin deficient. We have lots of vitamin B deficiency and vitamin D, and there are people who have really poor diet, so they probably are low in certain basic vitamins. On the whole, I would think that if you're taking a little bit of a vitamin C and a little bit of a multi, that's fine. In my mind, that's probably just fine. I think also the action of you buying a bit of vitamin C and taking it from time to time is also not really going to harm you all that much. And if it makes you feel a bit better about, hey, I'm doing something for myself, then that's good. There are legitimate vitamin deficiencies. And if you do look at some of the Andrew Huberman, he's one of the guys who does a podcast, and he's a neuroscientist. There's some really great doctors who talk about vitamins that you can buy that actually do have like research behind them. Then there could be some benefit for people, but really they really think about it, and they think about the research and think, oh, actually that's going to add value to my life here. Whereas when you're just wandering around the supermarket aisle thinking, I just feeling a bit stressed, and no, maybe I'll just grab that. That's more a sort of a purchasing behavior. Because you're thinking, I just want to feel a little bit better. And so you're just reaching for something to make you feel better in that moment. But my mum, she's a doctor too, and when I get a cold, she tells me, have a bit more, have some vitamin C tablets. And some patients, we do prescribe them a multivitamin because they are generally very unwell and they really don't eat very well. And so we think, oh, well, you need to have some supplementation in your diet. Drinkers need thiamine, people who drink a lot of alcohol. So there are times when we legitimately do prescribe a lot of vitamins, and there are doctors researching and researchers in the space of vitamins looking at how vitamins can affect people's general health, especially very high dose volumes of vitamins, not just vitamin C, other things as well. So it's really hard because there's really a lot of things that are very legitimate. Now, I'm just wandering down the supermarket aisle. I'm kind of feeling a bit flat, I'm just going to grab this thing. I mean, that's just random as hell.
Yeah, I reckon that's an interesting, I love that they're looking into it, because the way that I look at it is, ask those questions that you're suggesting, like what's my motivation? Is this person just trying to make money off me? All that sort of stuff. That I feel like there is a way that they can coexist to walk hand in hand and like help each other out, but you've just got to try and figure out the people that are just trying to like rob you blind.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole idea that, you know, you've got sort of Western medicine and then you've kind of got everything else and that they're sort of at odds with each other, I think it's less and less true. I think a lot of doctors are very open-minded, and it's not even about doctors, it's a lot of people are open-minded and looking at alternative solutions, and that's totally fine. But it's about being able to be smart about it and thinking like, is there anything here that's real, or am I literally eating rose petal capsules for no reason other than that I like the flavour or something?
They do sound quite nice. Like now, see, this is how like gullible I am. I'm like, wonder if they exist. They actually sound quite good. Well, Dr. Sash, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate you very, very much.
Good,
and we're going to continue on this venture. All right, Jess, let's get that naturopath opinion. What's your take on supplements from the supermarket that people might just buy randomly because they maybe convince themselves that they need them? Are they even effective?
Supermarket vitamins and minerals and, you know, the likes of the ones that are sold at chemists are still good. They might not be as high quality, but I think that if you are picking the right ones for your health, you're still going to get some sort of benefit. So I am a minimalist in terms of what I supplement. So I think it does depend. You know, I understand that seeing a naturopath or seeing a natural healthcare practitioner can be expensive just to go see them. So you don't want people spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on unnecessary products. So for me, things that I believe that, you know, we might need to supplement is obviously, you know, if you're low in iron, you're going to need an iron supplementation, but you can get that from your doctor if you're that low enough. Vitamin D, that's something that can really affect our immune system. If we are low in vitamin D, the best way of doing that is obviously getting sun. Something like zinc is going to be really good for our skin and our immune system, and also our B vitamins. But you can get a lot of that through food. Sometimes antibiotics and other reasons you might not be able to absorb them properly. It's also how you take them. So I think that's where it comes into play, that you do see a practitioner so they can tell them, you know, eat it with breakfast or eat it at dinner, eat it with food, eat it without food, because otherwise you're just taking it. I've seen people drink it with coffee. That is a big no-no. You don't drink your supplements or your vitamins and minerals with coffee. And then it just kind of all becomes in vain.
Why is that, Jess? Like, why should we not take our vitamins around caffeine or alcohol or anything like that? Like, what does it actually do?
So one study actually says that drinking a cup of coffee with your iron can reduce the effect of the iron by up to 39%. So it decreases the absorption. That will be the same with alcohol as well. So it's all about the absorption. We're trying to get the most out of our supplements. If we are taking it, that's why it's best to take it away from anything that is caffeinated or alcoholic.
Wow, okay, that's a breakthrough. I didn't know that. So are there any other advice on like how to take your vitamins? Because I would usually have my breakfast, take my vitamins in the morning, and then like have a matcha latte on the way to work or whatever. So is there like a way that we take our vitamins to make them more effective?
One, away from any caffeinated products. So if you're going to have a coffee or tea, it should be 1 hour. Either side of your medication. With your fat-soluble vitamins, you should have them with fat. So if you're having vitamin D, you should have it with nuts or something like that. Also, too, iron is better absorbed with vitamin C, so you should have a glass of orange juice. So there's all different ones, but the main ones are away from coffee or tea and obviously alcohol. And if you are taking a substance like slippery elm, which is really coats our stomach, that you should not take your vitamins and minerals with that, because they don't get absorbed, because it coats your vitamins and it will just go straight through you.
Wow, you are such a great person with this sort of stuff. You've got a book called Wellness, which people can read as well. Jess, Blair, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and all your thoughts. And if anyone wants to follow Jess on Instagram or you want to pick up her book, just check out the show notes below and you'll be able to get all the details to get some more Jess Blair in your life. Thank you so much.
Love talking to you guys, so thank you so much.
So there are so many of these like fads and things that have fake make promises, right? And so what I thought I would do is I would roam around the office here at the Edge and ask a bunch of different people about supplements that they've taken that actually work. Because let's wade through the bullshit together.
It is called quercetin, and it relieves inflammation and free radicals in your body. Really good after COVID. Would recommend if you've got long COVID.
Taking lion's mane in like a pill form, so it's a mushroom. It's helped me a lot with like mental clarity and just focus.
I love the Eve Wellness Period Pal. It helps me get my cycle on track, and I had a hard time after coming off the pill, and it really sorted things out.
I take 5-HTP, and I feel like it gives me more energy throughout the day, but it also mellows me out at night, so I get a really good sleep.
Magnesium and cherry tart for sleep. It has been amazing for me. I take it 2 every night. It's been an absolute godsend.
So I have pretty bad anxiety, so I wanted to cut down on how many coffees I was having a day. I went online and I came across the brand Moody. I love this brand so much. They're from New Zealand. They've got brilliant service, really cute aesthetic. I grabbed their functional AM blend, and honestly, I rate this so highly. But it actually helps you kind of feel good throughout the day. It helps with your energy, focus and mood, as opposed to like a coffee kind of hindering it.
Oh my God, that felt like an expose today. Let's bring it back up. What I have learned is that more and more it is so important that we always advocate for ourselves. If it smells like bullshit, it probably is. And it's okay. You're not committed to life. You're not married to the person that is your naturopath. If it doesn't feel right and it's making you feel worse, or it's mentally making you feel like crap, then sayonara. Get on out of there. Go find another one that you click with. You know, it's like going to a therapist. It's like dating. You got to go around to find the right one, and when it clicks, oh my God, does it click. I've got an incredible naturopath who sadly wasn't practicing during the time that I got scammed, but she's brilliant and I trust her wholeheartedly. So those people are out there. This isn't to tell you that all naturopaths are bad. It's just saying go in, eyes open, and if it doesn't feel right, stop spending your money. And you can also tell them you can't afford to spend that much money, and they need to give you a plan that is actually affordable to you. So don't be afraid to say those things, because at the end of the day, they're the ones making the money. So just go with your gut and stand up for yourself. Also, make sure you check with your practitioner if you're a little bit wary on any of the products that have been recommended throughout the podcast as well. But next episode, I am so excited for this one. We're having a trainee sexologist reunion. My gal, Morgan Penn, the somatic sexologist, is back, and we're going to be talking everything libido. What's normal and how do we find it if it's not really there?
So you need to figure out what does turn you on, what accelerates you, you know, what actually like puts the accelerator down to sexy town, and what your brakes are. Like, figure that out. That's a really important piece.
Strap yourself in, pun not intended, because this one, oh my God, it's a good one.